Welcome to episode 3 of SNEKtalk. It's kind of just a thing that I'm putting together. I'm trying to focus on streaming. I'm trying to focus on people who are here in chat live, but I'm also kind of recording this for a vodcast, video broadcast, as well as maybe a podcast also. I'm just putting together some of the things that I've learned, some of the things that I figured out, and some of the things that I think people need to hear when it comes to content creation, when it comes to streaming, when it comes to doing this as a hobby or even maybe as a job possibly in the future. I'm not sure what everyone's plans are. I'm not sure what everyone is into as far as like how that works for them. But for me, I want to make a career out of it, and it's hard. It's tough. It's one of those things where you really have to put effort into growing, staying consistent. I mean, there's tons and tons of things that you have to do that kind of makes it to where you are completely and utterly responsible for your own success, and you can't put that on anyone else. So what I've done is, just to help me, I've created like lists, and I've created like paragraphs, and I've written down ideas, and I've written down advice, and I'm kind of just doing it for my own good, like to kind of work through it myself, if that makes sense. But at the same time, like, I'm also I believe that this stuff can be helpful for many other people as well. So today, one of the first things that I want to talk about today is branding. Now, I know that it's one of those things that it's not a huge detriment to you in the beginning, but I believe that having a strong brand and coming out of the gate with something that's very powerful and easy to recognize and notice is building your brand. Building your brand is important because it is the way people recognize you on social media, generally, but also out there if you're marketing, if you're making ads and creating merch and things, people you want to have something that people can recognize. It's a really good idea to have the same branding across all of your social media accounts. If you have a website, that's cool. You have a Facebook, that's cool. Twitter, Instagram, Discord. It's a good idea to kind of have the same branding blanket covering your entire content. That way, like I said, it's recognizable. People know. That doesn't mean you need to use the exact same logo or the exact same graphic. But if you're in the beginning stages of it, that's not a bad idea. I feel like my brand is recognizable because it's kind of raw, and it kind of has a flying by the seat of my pants kind of feel to it, because that is exactly what I'm doing. I chose colors, I chose images, I chose fonts. I chose it to help represent me, and so I've got the weird graphic with my nose cut out and my face is all funny looking, that's a new one. But I've also have anything with laser eyes. I have a llama, I have a shark, I have a trash panda, or raccoon. I've got myself. I put laser eyes on things. I think that's funny. I think it's fun. I think it's really cool. That's something that I do to help kind of identify my content. Now, if you go through and look at some of the things that I posted on Twitter and some of the things that I put on Facebook, I also do kind of my own stuff. I'll take a photo and I'll edit the photo to look like kind of my deal. So I think it's important to kind of spread that out and understand that your brand is also part of your content. So if you're doing say photos, it's a good idea to post that on your Twitter. If you like me, I've edited quite a few photos. Been trying to put one up every day, at least this week. And I sign it with the SNEK, and I post it to my right now. It's being posted to my Discord. But at the end of the week, I'm gonna gather all 7 of the photo, or 5. Sorry, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday through Friday. So I'll have 5 of those, and I'll post those on my Twitter as a one whole week of stuff. Just that's just how I want to do it. But the idea is you choose colors and you choose images and you choose graphics that represent you. If you're the kind of person who uses humor in your content, it would be a good idea to kind of identify yourself as a humorous streamer, and maybe don't have a logo that's super serious looking or very somber kind of a logo, have something that kind of represents the brand that you're a part of. It's like the doorway into your content. People will see your logo, they'll see your screenshot, they'll see your photo, they'll see whatever, and that's kind of like their intro to who you are. So you want to make sure that, like, without stressing it too much, obviously, because you want them to kind of see it and then want to look beyond it. So don't stress it a whole bunch, but make sure that you consider the audience that you're trying to reach, and what kind of look maybe they would be able to identify with, and go for it. Now, with branding comes the option of rebranding, which sounds scary and sometimes can be, but I feel like if you aren't pulling in over 5,000 to 10,000 anywhere, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, Mixer, streaming wise, then you can rebrand without a huge detriment to who you are and what you have already. I know some people who rebrand and they just change their graphic. I know some people who rebrand and they've changed their entire their name and everything. Like, they've rebranded everything that they have. So choose what's best for you as far as rebranding, but just make sure that you consider some of the points that I just made about it's your identity, so make sure that it's true to who you are. Make sure you realize that it's the window to your content. Choose the stuff that represents the idea and the concept of what you're doing. You can have different brandings kind of for different areas, like SNEKtalk, you know what I mean? Like, my brand is the Sneak Thief, that's my name, the Sneak Thief, but this is kind of like an extension of that, The SNEK graphic is kind of like a alternate identity for the channel, SNEK. I think it's kind of funny. It seems like it's a extension, maybe an alter ego, and I'm just trying it out. We'll see how it goes. But branding is important. If anybody out there has questions or comments about their branding or a brand or just branding in general, just pop on into chat, say something, ask questions. That's a major part of this content here. So I've got you up on the screen. If you have anything, like I said, just pop it on in there. I do want to talk about, because Can brought up, he's been working back up to streaming more. Took a break because things were happening. Plus anniversary, things are going to be happening, Can, and that's one of those deals where you kind of gotta just deal with what's happening. You gotta make it happen, and you gotta let it happen at the same time. So life will happen to you, but make sure that you also take some time and assert what you want to happen as well. So for instance, you're saying you're getting back into streaming. Well, do that. Make sure that you set aside time to do that, because I believe you're talented, man. I think you have a lot of the qualities that it takes to be successful, and I want to push you. I want you to make a commitment to doing more streams, and if that's something that you can do, then awesome. Scheduling, I think, is an important topic. If you want to, we can pop right into scheduling. If you have no questions or no comments about branding, we can go right into scheduling. Now, scheduling is my next kind of topic here, because scheduling is one of those things where it's going to be different for everyone, and so many people think oh, well, I can't make a schedule, so I can't be serious. And I think that there's some truth to that, to a certain extent, but at the same time, I feel that you should be able to, if you have the proper way to distribute your schedule, if you have a way to tell people what your schedule is, if it changes week to week, if you have a way to tell people, then that's still okay, as long as you stick to your schedule. Back to the branding topic, that's a really good question, Canned. What's your standpoint on your face for your brand rather than graphics? I believe that for me personally, my face is the thing about my content that's never going to change. I might shave my beard off, or trim it down, or change my hat, or cut my hair, or shave all my hair off, or change my glasses, but I'm always going to be me. And I feel like if I'm looking for consistency in my branding, then branding around my face makes sense. Also, it's one of those things where you're living in an age where the internet has copyrights about everything, and so many people will steal something. Like this image behind me, you see this space? That's space, and it's a huge, huge image. Someone took a photo of space. This is an actual photo of space, and I don't know who took it. I don't know where it came from. Someone could say, "Yo, Sneak Thief, that's my photo. I took that photo. You can't use it." And I have no choice but to say, "Sure." You know, I had to take it down. So I think with that whole deal, with the way that branding works that way, like no one can ever say like, "Yo, Sneak Thief, that's my face. Take my face down." Sorry, guy, but it's my face. So I know that as far as future proofing what my brand is, my face is always going to be my face. I'm not ever going to be able to like not have it. So I feel like it's a strong choice for me. I want to make content creation a career. So I feel like there's no better way to invest in that than to invest in my content being centered around my face. Also, you know, it's important to realize as well, like that you are, as a streamer, you know, the people who know about streaming are gamers and other streamers, but there's a lot more to, you know, being a content creator than just turning your stream on. So it's a lot easier for people, maybe you know someone in real life, like my family and my friends in real life, if they see my face attached to a brand that they've never recognized, they at least will recognize my face and go, "Yo, what's that idiot doing?" And then they can have at least an easier way to like make their way to my online persona, my content that I'm putting out there. So for me, it kind of just is a blanket. I can put my face on it, and I feel like that represents me. So I think it's a really good question, man. And you know, there's no right answer for each individual person. I say choose for yourself. But for me, and I've also kind of you know, encouraged Weirdo Beardo to do the same thing. You know, to like incorporate his face in his content, because I think that's, you know, one of the easiest ways for people to like, you know, for brand identification is making your face your brand. So that's a really good question though. Like, you know, make your own choice. Make it be like whatever you want it to be. I know there's tons of guys out there who have utilized logos and graphics as their brand, and it's totally fine. Yeah, I noticed that you have your face on your profile. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with your graphics, but you know, think about it like this, dude. Like, a lot of people identify with the things that they're familiar with, right? So if you are the kind of person who you've been raised around sports teams and, you know, NFL and MLB and, you know, NBA and NHL, and like you're used to seeing sports teams branding, then you're going to lean more towards a sports team looking brand. Someone that comes to my mind like right away is if you guys have seen Nighthawk. His branding looks very much like a sports team logo. And I feel like that's because, you know, that's something that he identifies with, and that's true to who he is because he likes that stuff. So you know, like, I'm not faulting anyone who's not doing what not doing their face, but I feel like for me, like, I've never really liked sports teams and, you know, things like that. So my suggestion is to, you know, dig into something that you know, something that you like, and something that you feel like represents who you are. So there you go. There you go. Nailed it. Branding is important. You want to make sure you have kind of the same names across the board. Like, you know, a lot of the same types of graphics across the board, so that, you know, people can identify you. They don't always have to know. Like, I feel like a lot of people who are streamers and who are content creators, they count on people already kind of knowing who they are. Either whether it's from Twitter or from Discord or from someone else's chat, people kind of already count on other people understanding what they're doing. Whereas, like, if you're looking at content creation on a broad scale, you want your friends and family and the people who you met in school and their neighbors and their grandma, and you want everyone to be able to kind of identify you. So looking at it, stepping back from it, you know, instead of having to put it in a video game box, you can put your brand in a much broader spectrum. And I feel like that'll benefit you more in the future as you continue. Scheduling sometimes seems pretty scary for people. Scheduling can sometimes seem very scary for people. But I would say that the number one thing to remember when you're talking about scheduling is consistency. Consistency. You know, people expect me online by 8 in the morning, Monday through Friday. I try to make that happen. Sometimes it's before that. Sometimes I get on at 7:30. Sometimes I get on at 6. Sometimes I get on it's a little bit after 8. These things happen. If I do have to be later than 8, I always try to make sure that I say something about it. But you'll notice when people are in chat, when people are watching, when people are hanging out on the live stream, I always say, blah, 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 I'm the sneak thief. These are my times when I'm live. So scheduling is one of those things where it doesn't make an impact until you push it. So, for instance, we were talking about it last week. Having your schedule as your offline image on your stream page is a good idea. Posting your schedule to your Twitter, great idea. Posting it in your Discord, also great idea. I think a lot of people kind of lose track of the fact that people look for you. If you for instance, The Walking Dead, right? Everyone knows that Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, Walking Dead comes on. And if The Walking Dead didn't come on just because one day, eventually no one's gonna watch anymore because they can't count on them being there when they're used to it. Now, also you got to understand that scheduling can change. Right now for me, probably since I guess April, since I've been to Mixer, my scheduling has been starting early in the morning and going into early to mid afternoon. And maybe when I get a different job next year, it'll start late afternoon and go early into the morning. Who knows what's going to happen? But the idea is that you want to tell people. You want to tell people. There's so much that goes into streaming and really easy to overlook things. You're right. It is, because you are, as the streamer, you are basically in charge of everything. Everything. That comes down to scheduling, branding, networking. You're actually doing you're an audio producer, you're a video producer, your marketing, your social media management. There's so much magician, there's so much to do, and it is really easy to kind of lose track of that. And kind of off to the side here, I haven't put this on my list, but I'm going to stream teams. The good, the bad, the ugly, what happens with stream teams. I think people overlook stream teams as well, or they underuse them, or the team itself isn't very good. So, that's a huge topic. I don't want to get into that yet, but I would love to get into that at some point in the future. So I'm going to make sure I put it on my list of things. This is stream teams. Sterarium teams. Stream teams. There it is. I've added it. It is now there. Stream teams. Yeah, and so we'll get into that because I think that's really important too, talking about stream teams and how to use them and how people use them and how you should and shouldn't use them, what they're good for and what they should be for versus what they're not doing. And there's a lot of stuff like that. I think that kind of stream teams. Next, scheduling. So scheduling, consistency. Be there when you say you're going to. Also, make sure to tell people when you're going to be there. And even if you think, I've said it already, or it's already been done, or it's posted here, or you should be able to find it, you still have to tell people all the time. You have to tell people all the time. Someone joins your channel for the first time, and they're like, this is great, I love it. Make sure you say, well, I'm glad you're enjoying it here. Make sure to show up every day because we're live at 8 a.m. and we go until 2 or 3 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday. That's Eastern time. If you're free, I'm here. You know what I mean? That's an open invitation. People love to hear that they're welcome. They want to know hey, guess what? You're
welcome.
It's that easy. You're
welcome.
No, you, Mega Mad Vlad. So scheduling, take time, let people know. If it changes every week, let them know every week. If it changed just today, let them know today. Should you say it an hour in advance, or should you tell them 2 hours in advance, or a day in advance? It's completely up to you and how your community reacts to your information dropping. If you drop it on Twitch or on Twitter and no one sees it, but you drop it in Discord and everyone does, then, lean into Discord. Make sure to tell Discord every day, this is what's happening. If it changes, let them know. As soon as you know, let them know. Super important. If you play, for instance, if you play multiplayer games every week with your community, make sure to remind them, hey, it's Friday, we're playing games together. You know what I mean? Establish that routine, let people know, they get used to it. Schedule your off-time stream as well, or your off-stream time as well. Jesus Christ. Schedule your off-stream time as well. No, you, Mega Mad Vlad. No, you. That way you can make sure that you are fulfilling like your everyday normal run of the mill relationships. You know, you need to call your mama, you need to go to the gym, you need to go grocery shopping, you gotta go to work, you gotta talk to your wife, you gotta hang out with your kids. Like, make sure you have time set in your schedule for that as well, because there's no way you're gonna maintain the ridiculously demanding schedule that streaming throws on you if you are not managing your off stream time as well. Mega Mad Vlad, if you have those things, do we need to redirect Mega Mad Vlad to Common Senseville? Everyone, get on your trains to Common Senseville. Take Mega Mad Vlad with you. Jesus Christ. Yeah. So like, but honestly though, like you have to maintain that that social balance. You need to go have a beer every now and again if that's what you do. You know, you need to go for a run or go gardening or. I mean, goddamn, like you gotta, like I've got to cut my grass. You know, I'm sitting right here, and I can see directly, like behind my camera, is my sliding glass door with an open view to my lawn, and it's like I have to cut the grass. I just know it. I've got to schedule that in. You know, if I want to make this work, then I have to seriously put effort into like scheduling my time. So, you know, I've got to make sure I get exercise. I've got to make sure that I eat right. I've got to take a long view. I got to look at it from far away and be able to say, like, this week I want to stream 5 days, but I know that my wife needs me to do this on Wednesday, so on Wednesday I got to make sure, like, we're doing that. Watching your grass grow, I knew I was boring, but come on. That's not what I mean. Mega Mad Vlad. God. You're really, really boring, though, so, you know, the grass is actually a lot more interesting than you are. It's hard to when you say the truth to people. But yeah, it's better to realize that trying. It's a good thing to realize that trying and failing is better than not trying at all. Is what I'm trying to say. So giving it a chance. If the schedule doesn't work, then you know now, hey, that's not going to work. I can do something different. Never could till I tried. Where did I put my burn heal? Mega Mad Vlad. I think you ran out of it because of all the burns that you got today. Can't, never could till it tried. There you go. Can't, never could till it tried. Canned is saying can't. Never could till it tried. The fact of the matter is scheduling is difficult because I know a lot of people have issues of, well, I can only stream for 1 hour or I can only stream for 2 hours. You know, should I make a schedule? The answer is yes. You should, and if you know what that schedule is, then post it. If it's the same every week, then repost it. If you have to change it every week, then change it and post that. But let people know. Let them know, hey, I can't be here on Wednesday, but Thursday I'll do extra long. Or, you know, Friday, guys, don't forget, games with the community. We're gonna do, you know, Nightfalls with followers, or like whatever it is that your content is about. Like, make sure you tell people that. Make sure you schedule it in, and make sure people get used to your routine. But also, like I said, make sure your off-stream time is being utilized wisely as well. You need to maintain healthy relationships and get exercise and eat good food. So that's scheduling. You have questions about any of those things, let me know. Scheduling is all about consistency, and it's all about being transparent, letting people know what's going on. You gotta tell them. You've got to tell people that. So we went over branding and we went over scheduling. Make sure you guys, if you have questions, pop them right in the chat there. Last second doesn't do too well, but last second is better than nothing, though. That's my point, dude. So many people, they say to themselves, well, this didn't turn out perfectly, so I'm not even going to worry about it. And it's more of like, you know, let people know, like, hey, I know it's last second, but this huge thing changed, and now I got to let people know, so I'm trying. I would much rather see someone trying than me expect you to be on and I show up and you're not there. You know what I mean? If someone says, hey, I'm going to go live at 5 a.m. and I make a special effort to find them at 5 a.m. and they're not there and they didn't say anything about, well, never mind, then I'm going to be a little upset with them. I'm going to be like, you wasted my time. I could have been finding someone else at 5 a.m. and now I hate you and now I'm going to find where you live and burn your house down. Just kidding. I'm not going to do that. That's a terrible thing to say. That's a joke. That's a joke out there, Mixerville. But yeah, so I noticed posts are great after stream. Mega Mad Vlad, you can move into the garage, no problem. I got room for you. Posts are great after stream. I think that's a good idea to do that as well. That's one thing that I always miss out on, because I usually push it to where it's like I stream until I have to go do something else. So my after stream posts are a little different. They're lacking. But usually, like, I've noticed that people do that, and it is a good idea to do that because, you know, honestly, Twitter is very, very temperamental about when they're going to show your tweets to somebody else. So, I mean, you could be live. You could be live all day, post a tweet when you first start going live, and maybe no one finds it until you're already not live anymore. But at least they'd be able to catch that tweet where it's like, yo, thanks for hanging out with me. You know, this person, that person, you guys are awesome. Thank you, blah, blah, blah. The usual, like, got hosted by this guy, got rated by that guy, got these new followers, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like an update. It's almost like a diary entry if you think about it. You know, Twitter's like that. They're not going to give you a specific timeline, you know, time-based feed. It's all going to be activity-based. So, you know, you got to deal with that. But I think I think scheduling is one of those things where there's no right answer. The right answer is what works best for you. So if you find that it works best for you to if you find what's best to you is to have a stringent every week schedule. Like, to me, that's what works out best for me. Like, I know that I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to go to work, and then I'm going to come home and wake my kids up and they're going to go to school, and then I have a whole block of time between when they start school and when they get home from school that I have, like, literally nothing to do. I've already went to work, you know, I've already done my job, so now it's like I'm going to stream. So for me, you know, the weekly schedule doesn't really change. If there's a huge change in what's going on, then I'll make a tweet about it. But my scheduling is basically the exact same thing every week. But yeah, so it sort of works to reach more people. Yeah, at the very least, it keeps the idea that you are a streamer fresh. Maybe that helps you, maybe it doesn't. But if you are running a Twitter account where it's just your streams, then, you know, hopefully you're diversifying your content. That's actually one of the other topics, is social media. I think social media is a really important thing to kind of understand and realize how it actually works. You know, because it's really easy just to, like, you know, make a tweet and then copy and paste that to Instagram, copy and paste that to Facebook, copy and paste that to Discord, copy and paste that to, like, wherever. Like, it's easy to do that, you know. But I feel like if you're not utilizing each of those tools, each of those social media platforms, you should make it an effort. You should take some time and learn what works best where, and, you know, what type of content performs better in each particular place. Would you hush? I've got dogs, you guys. I don't know if you know this, but I've got dogs, and they bork. They're borkers. So social media is really important, I think, for any streamer, no matter which size you are, because it'll scale with you. You know, if you have 100 followers on Twitter and you know, you use your Twitter account wisely, then those 100 people are going to get value from your account. I keep getting a beard hair, like, curl up and go inside my nostril, and it's, like, itchy, and it makes me look like I'm picking my nose, like, digging in it, but it's like there's a beard hair that's just curling up in there. Sorry, beard hair. Social media. Utilize every tool you have, all the platforms. That's anything that you identify with that works very well. One's been attacking you for a few days. Yeah, it's been like, you know, and that's like the worst feeling ever, like that, like, tickle inside your nose, because it just makes my whole face tingle. Do some research. Find which tools work best for you, and then dig into those tools. You don't have to, you know, for instance, if you have a Instagram and you have a Twitter, and you're doing the same content in both places, but you're not getting anything on Twitter, then, you know, obviously try to dig in more on Twitter to see how well that works, because I think Twitter is really good for streamers. But, you know, if you're getting more response on Instagram, then you should definitely, you know, lean into that. Like, dig in on Instagram and make that work for you. Super important. Do not, God, please, everyone out there, please, fucking God, do not @ everyone on your Discords unless everyone knows I honestly I can't even in my mind. The only time an at everyone is necessary is if you're making a huge announcement for your whole community and you need to let everyone know. Would you hush? Sorry. Don't add everyone. You can do an at here. Sometimes like at here works because that doesn't notify everyone. Right. Yes. PewDiePie Ninja. Yes. Don't add everyone. On your Twitters, on your tweets, I see some people saying I'm live now. Then it's like at the whole world. Like literally every character on their tweet is used up adding people, and you know even if those people. That's a good way to get yourself blocked if you at the wrong person. You know, say for instance, like I at King Gathalion. Every time I go live, he's gonna block me, and he's never gonna see my tweets ever again. And it's like if I make something of myself and I become really prolific on Twitter, you know, he's never gonna interact with me because he blocked me for adding him, you know, years ago. Like that happens. You know, that kind of thing happens. Plus, it just makes your Twitter look like a billboard. You're not really doing anything that's worth anything. You're just kind of using someone else's name to fill up your boxes. I don't know. I think it's really important for you guys to understand that like your social media platforms are not billboards for going live. It is a good idea to use them to notify people, but you should be using them for other things as well. Posting photos of yourself, posting photos of your environment, telling people about your day, sharing videos, you know, commenting on threads. Like, you should be doing all the things you possibly can on places where you feel like your content is performing well. So, for instance, Twitter does really well with like short videos. You know, you can post like a, you know, maybe a 3-second to like 60-second video, and people will engage in that. GIFs do like really well. Graphics. Instagram does super good with like photos and like those like story vids, you know, like the short, like, you know, my story, like those do really well. YouTube content varies between long format and short format, so I don't know which one's better. I think you should just use whatever makes sense for the content you're putting up there. For instance, I put up a clip of me killing someone with a bow and arrow. It's super short. If I put up a clip of like my playthrough of a game, I'll put it much longer. So, you know, it's all about putting your stuff everywhere. But you want it to like fit the platform you're putting it on. So, you know, if I make a short clip video for YouTube, right? People don't think about it, but I'll take that same video and I'll upload it to Facebook. It'll be on my page as an uploaded to that page video, and you can you know, get a hold of my information there. You can get a hold of it there. You can get a hold of it on YouTube. It depends on, you know, where you are and how you wanna consume it. But I'm leaving that up to you. You know, custom tailor those posts to fit whatever platform. And, you know, for instance, like that just means like if you have an at the whole community, you know, at everyone, at blah, blah, blah on your Twitter, you don't want to copy all those ats and put it on your Facebook because that's not the same at. It's not going to tag the same person. It's not going to tag the right people. You're going to have different stuff. So, you know, even just taking a little bit of time to custom fit where you're posting at makes a huge difference. Huge difference. And do not use follow for follow. Do not tag retweet accounts. Do not do that. No one. The only people who are using the retweet accounts are people who are just wanting you to engage with their content. They're not interested in engaging in yours. That's not how that works. Those retweet accounts don't do you any fucking good. Maybe you get a little bit more metrics to measure for like interaction, but that's not real interaction. You're not really actually getting it. Would you hush? Hey! I'm gonna put you outside. Guys, dogs though, right? Dogs though? Dogs though. So we discussed branding, we discussed scheduling, and now we're talking about social media. I'm gonna go and put him outside. Give me a second. Dogs though, right? Literally, I heard the neighbor's car door shut. The neighbor's car door just shut, so that's what his problem is. That doggone dog. So yeah, sorry. Branding, scheduling, and we talked about social media. Those are 3 really good important topics. I feel like they all kind of fit together a little bit because you want to use your brand to identify all of your content. You want to use that brand on social media. And then you want to use your reach on social media to, let people know about your scheduling. Mega Mad Vlad, have a good day, bud. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being part of the conversation. You're awesome, and I love you, bud. You're awesome, I love you, bud. So those are the 3 topics that I talked about today. If you have any questions about those, let me know. You have questions about anything else, also, you can let me know that as well. I've got a lot of fun stuff on my list that we can talk about. I feel like we did a pretty good job today covering those topics. If you have any questions, like I said, let your homeboy know. Oh boy. What should I do? Great topics, thanks. All things I'm working on, see results for changing them. Yeah, man. I'll tell you now, like, if you incorporate just investing more effort into what you're doing, even if that just means trying something and it not working. If you try something and it doesn't work, then at least it doesn't work. You can try other things. You touch on them here and there since I've been here. Yeah, man. And that's another thing, too. Like, I want my content to help people. I want people to, like, think, like, yo, that Sneak Thief, he cares. Because, like, I really do care. I want your content to do well. I want your streams to do well. I want your communities to grow. I want you to be successful. I want the same things for me. But at the same time, like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, if all I cared about was making myself more successful, then it would get pretty fucking lonely. It would get pretty fucking lonely. So, like I want my friends to be successful. I want the people who like are helping me. I want to help them back. I want to make true friendships, and I want to be part of everyone's success. So, that's what's going on here, and that's what's making me do this. That's what's kind of driving this talk show. That's what's driving this content now is. I love playing games, and I love shooting people, and I love bows and arrows and fantasy and magic and, like, all that fun stuff. Like, I just love it. I just absolutely love it. But, I also want to be able to, like, take what I know and what I've learned and give back. If I had someone who was, like, helping me the way that I want to help other people when I first started, Jesus, things would have been so different. That's why I'm super excited for Weirdo Beardo, because, he is starting over. Or not over, but he's starting fresh. And he definitely needs guidance, and he's willing to like listen to my suggestions and make an effort to grow, to like move forward, to like make that work for him. So super excited, super happy. Things are moving forward. The content's working well. The community is growing, and I'm making tons of new friends. So I'm doing really well, and like I said, I want to make sure that everyone else gets a chance to, at least hear what I have to say. Hopefully it's helped you. Hopefully it's, changed your perspective on some things, and hopefully, you have some feedback that can help me change my perspectives too. I want help as much as I want to help. So, I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. I would like to know everything. I would at least like to know that I've like tried to know everything. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say Raven to Simshian. Revent Shimmy. I've seen you before, Raven. And you've already followed once. You must have unfollowed and refollowed. That's fine, though. That's how these things work. Sometimes they go well, and sometimes they do not. But welcome back.
Welcome.
You actually caught me at the very end of my stream today. I'm going to be handing it off to someone else today. I don't know. Who should we go to? Where should we go? Anybody have suggestions?